Hey everyone, this is Emma with the UC Vault program. Today we will talk about active and passive voice in writing. Most types of writing require active voice. Passive voice is usually considered unnecessary unless it is being used in a specific way. So, what is active voice, and why is it generally preferred? Active voice is the most commonly used voice in the English language. Everyone uses active voice even if they are unaware of it. Active voice focuses on the performer and the action being performed. In active voice, the subject is performing the action, or the major verb of the construction. Active voice tends to be more clear and concise, and scientific writing always prefers active voice. Next we move on to passive voice. What is passive voice? Passive voice often focuses on the receiver, or who or what the action was performed on. You can also use passive when the performer is unclear or unknown. Passive voice is often used to shift an object in one sentence to the subject of the next. If the subject is not performing the action, then it is passive. Passive voice is often wordy and unclear. It can often leave the reader confused about what part of the sentence is the subject. Passive voice often leads to other grammatical errors as well. One of the few times that passive voice is okay to be used is when the subject is not an important part of the sentence. The best way to tell if you are using passive voice is to determine whether the action is or is not performed by the subject of the construction. If the subject is not performing the action of the construction, then the sentence is using passive voice. Here are some examples that display the differences between active and passive voice. Joe hit a home run. This is an active sentence where the subject is performing the action. A home run was hit by Joe. This construction focuses on the object of the sentence, which is the home run. That makes it a passive sentence. The student changed his or her paper. Again, subject performing the action. Changes were made to the paper by the student. Not only is that incorrect, but it does not flow and it is confusing. One of the few times a passive voice is acceptable is when the focus of the sentence is not the subject. A storm was predicted by the weatherman. The important part of this sentence is the storm, not the weatherman. So, to review, use active voice whenever possible. Remember that passive voice can lead to other grammatical errors. Be sure that the subjects of the sentences are performing the actions of the sentences. Only use passive voice when there is a need for it. Unknown subject, subject unimportant, etc. Try to avoid leaving the subject unknown or vague. If the subject is not performing the verb or action, the sentence is passive. Scientific writing always uses active voice. And keep tense in mind. Focus on how active you can make it. These are the sources that I used in creating this tutorial. They are all great resources for more information on active and passive voice. And for further assistance with the writing process, you can contact us at the Vault website and chat live or submit a help request. You can also check out other existing tutorials on the site. If you prefer to email, you can email to ucvault@maine.edu. And you can also check us out on Google+ and Twitter.